G'day aspiring engineers. This video is about 5 megatrends which affect professional engineers and hobbyists alike. I'm going to read this and it'll make it much more succinct. A few weeks ago I published a video on mission. This one is about vision, things I can see. Now this book, Megatrends, came out in 1990, which I didn't know about, but the author, John Naisbitt, wrote another one because things kept happening. His next book was called Megatrends 2000, which I did read, and since then I've been watching out for these kinds of big history-making ideas ever since then. And things do keep on happening. Anyway, here's the first megatrend I see happening: progress and stagnation. I do plan to cover computers, Moore's Law, the internet, artificial intelligence. I'll talk about humanoid robots, electric flying cars, nanotechnology and blockchain technology. These are all evidence of progress, but there is just as much stagnation out there. For all the promise of progress, there's just as much pessimism. People ask, what is your P-doom? What is that? And that is, what is the percentage that you give the probability that artificial intelligence is going to wipe out the human race? We're not going there today. Now here is a real example of stagnation. See this video about a mega project, and the link will be down below. But that's the way big projects are. There are so many stakeholders in a big project. In this one you've got it all: a political bun fight, budget blowouts, environmental disaster, systemic corruption scandals, labour relations disputes, public controversy in the press. You got the idea. Engineering projects are a part of that broad social order. There's no escaping that. Well, small projects are also part of that social order. They don't have the monolithic power that these mega projects have, but all taken together, they're still a significant part of the social order. And the country where you live and its history has a lot to do with how you get on and do your work and do your business. The critical issue here is freedom. So progress and stagnation, both of them affect you every day. Technological disruption, this is the second one. This affects your hobby as much as it does a professional engineer. He's got to move from 2D CAD to 3D CAD when it comes available. And you're learning 3D CAD. You and I met because I've been teaching Autodesk Fusion. Now, before the 20th century, you could build carriages, horse-drawn carriages, in your back shed. Then if you wanted to build cars, automotive cars, in the 20th century, you would have needed to be a billionaire. You needed a shed as long as 2 or 3 football fields. But now again in the 21st century, you can participate in the automotive supply chains from a small shed again. And there was disruption when the printing press came along, and again when the internet came along. And I don't think that the universities have come to grips with that change that happened when the internet came along. And now we've got AI, an even bigger change for specifically teaching and learning, and universities are in dire straits. We'll talk more about that one another day. Henry Ford famously quipped that you could have your car any colour you like, so long as that's black. That's what mass production does for you. But now that we're coming out of the age of mass production and into the age of mass customization, fine art, decorative arts, industrial arts, engineering design, these are becoming all much more important. The division of labour hasn't gone away, and I've got no time for that idea that AI is going to make work obsolete. The coming age has nothing to do with post-labour economics. Opinionated, aren't I? Number 3 is intellectual property. You and I are learning and teaching computer-aided design, and that's about designing things. That's another way of saying inventing things, which means that you have to be mindful of protecting your idea. Well, as Ash Maurya says, anything worth copying will be copied. That's the way of the world. In the past, patents have been the way to protect your idea, and I've got a lot to say about patents. I think they're wonderful. The history of patents and their value is an amazing story. I've also got my eye on blockchain technology, which can probably do what patents do, but do it much better. Time will tell. Number 4, ethics. There's this ethical dimension to engineering. What's that, you might ask? Think about child labour. Think about slavery. And it's not just historical things. Think about workers' compensation laws. Think about a safety management system. Now, you're going to have a safety management system, whether by design or by default. You're going to implement or subsidise a safety management system in your international supply chain. Ethics is at the root of the way that you do business. It's at the root of the way that you make a deal. It gets down to a quality management system, and it's another thing that you're going to have, whether by design or by default. It's about how you negotiate between you, your suppliers, and your customers. Everybody does that. And lots of small companies are now multinationals. How small? Well, a freelancer on Fiverr is usually in one country, and the person that he's working for is in some other country. Plenty of small makers and creators do business around the world. And it's good to be one of them, which brings us to megatrend number 5, earning. Now, we've already had so much to talk about in these previous 4 megatrends, and we haven't even touched on the opportunities to earn a living, or even to maybe do much better than that, or even cover the costs of your hobby so that you can have a nice CNC machine in the shed, or maybe even a robot in the shed to help you with your hobby. Now, because of all of these things that I've mentioned here already, the good news is immense. And this one, number 5, earning, is by far the biggest topic. And I'm only going to sum it up for now with my new slogan: the best way to learn is to earn while you learn. Thanks for watching. I've got more coming.